Is that correct?
Yes.
And so if that's the case, one kind of like myth buster that I want to put out there, and it'll be a nice kind of, should they want to learn more, I think we have a well qualified expert here, which you can take us in your lab respectively and teach us. But when you say that, the one thing that comes to mind is, or that might come to a listener's mind is that only for investment properties? Like if I had a property in my name and I was paying the mortgage, could I still get a private money lender to lend on that, or does it have to be an LLC?
Everything's negotiable, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I say that it has to be the comfortability of what you have with the individual. Now, if you're talking about a homestead, again, that it's a comfortability. So I typically in some states, that if you file bankruptcy, then they can't do as far as for the homestead. But I do know someone that teaches this as well, and she just recently did a rehab, and it was for her homestead, and it was a private money lender, but she built those relationships. Maybe she cross collateralized another property. But if also there are properties, for example, my recent student, she has a property, it's in her name, and she only knows how to buy traditionally. When I say buy traditionally, she buys conventional or Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac through, but they're investment properties, but she does it a little bit slower. So she lived in that one, she moved out, she rents it out right now, MTR, but it's still in her name. Well, that's an investment property. So like I was like, we can leverage that, right? And it's even though it is in your name. So it doesn't have to necessarily be in an LLC, because what happens is the documentation to protect the lender is going to be tied to the asset. So whatever owns that asset, your name, your LLC, your trust, it's going to be tied to that asset. So that's when you get an attorney or you get a title company involved, and those documents are drawn up to be able to protect them. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, so if you can, and like I said, it's really the relationship you build and the track record that you have, that you can leverage your property or not.
Love that. Love that. And that this is so good.